welcome back to Champion the Passion, a weekly pro wrestling podcast where we inspire you to champion your passions and celebrate the joy of what you love. And today we're going to be recapping everything that happened last night on NXT Roadblock. It was an absolutely insane show, but before we dive deeper, don't forget to leave a 5-star review if you enjoyed. Follow me at It's Victoria Daisy across all social platforms, and follow Champion the Passion across all streaming platforms. But let's get right into the action, because the very first match of the night was for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. The Hardy Boys defending against the NXT Tag Team Champions, Fraxium. Now, this was a great match, okay? One little thing I want to point out that really stood out to me during this match. I mean, it always does, but it came to me. It was like a little epiphany moment. I thought it was so funny. Both Nathan Frazier and Axiom remind me of The Flash, like the DC superhero, because of they are so freaking fast. Okay. You could have sworn they both chugged at least 12 Red Bulls before that match. It was so crazy. On the other side, though, it was also so great getting to see the Hardys in action. I mean, both of these tag teams truly worked magic in that ring. There's no words. I'm just speechless. I mean, nonstop action. I wasn't bored, not even for a single second. And truly, low-key, I couldn't tell who was going to win this match for a minute, but in the end, the Hardy Boys won and retained their TNA World Tag Team Championships, which I love so much. Hopefully, we can see more from the Hardys in WWE and NXT, and also just more from the storyline as well. Let's move on into the next match of the night, which was Roxanne Perez versus Jordynne Grace. Now, this was honestly a pretty good match. I mean, Jordynne absolutely obliterated Roxanne, which of course made my heart so happy. We all know how I feel at this point about Roxanne, and so I won't harp on it for a second longer than needed, but I will say Jordynne continued to prove to us why she is the juggernaut. I mean, she brings such a unique moveset to the table that sets her apart, and it's just so enjoyable to watch. And of course, our queen pulled through, and she won the match in the end. You really thought Roxanne was going to win? No, because she's not the prodigy. Hello? Anyways, next was a match that, oh my gosh, this was crazy. Okay, so Obafemi was defending his NXT championship against the TNA X Division champion Moose. We got a lot of TNA action in this NXT show, which I loved. So this, honestly, I do have to say something actually, first of all, before I even get to the match. Is it just me? Is this the Mandela effect? Are they trying to make us forget something, or did I just completely mishear something? I thought this was a title for title match. That's what they originally advertised it as. Champion versus champion, title for title. That's exactly what they said, right? Or am I hallucinating? I need to go back a couple weeks and see what they said, because I'm pretty sure this was for both titles. But whatever, they got in the ring and Mike Rome was like, nope, this was for the NXT championship. And I was like, oh, okay, sure, whatever. But let's talk about the match. So sometimes when describing matchups, people like to use the comparison of David and Goliath to, represent somebody massive fighting somebody tiny, right? But this matchup was truly Goliath versus Goliath, okay? This was two powerhouses absolutely going at it, and it was so intense. I truly couldn't tell who was going to win until the very last second. It was that good of a match. I mean, both men are so skilled and so good in the ring in their own ways. And I thought they worked so well in the ring together. And I'm such a big fan of Obafemi. I'm also a big fan of Moose. And so to have this storyline going is just amazing. I hope they can continue it just like with the Hardys. I love this TNA NXT/WWE partnership. I think it's amazing. And so I'd love to see more from it. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. I was about to move on to the next match. I forgot I didn't even say who won this match. Obafemi won and retained his NXT championship, which now if this was a true title for title, I honestly thought Moose was going to win. But then when they said it was only for the NXT championship, I was like, oh, okay, Obafemi's going to retain, which is exactly what happened, which Okay, cool. I'm totally fine with. But one thing I do got to say is there was only, how many matches were there? There was 4? Wait. There was 5 matches. And I feel like I'm getting through this really quickly, and I'm not really happy about that. It's going to be a short episode today. I don't know why. There wasn't that much. And also because it wasn't at the PC, they didn't really have like any segments or things of that nature. They had like a few little backstage things, like Jada Parker and Mickey James had a cute moment backstage. The D'Angelo family announced that they're going to have a triple threat mixed tag team match next week against the Culling, however you say it, Sean Spears faction, basically. So it's going to be Luca Crucifino, Adriano Rizzo, and Stax against Izzy Dame, and I don't remember the other 2 guys' names. So that's going to be the match, which is going to be cool. There was also a moment between Obafemi and The Undertaker before Oba's match, which was crazy. That was insane. I'm trying to think of what other... I think that was the only really backstage like type of segments we had. Yeah, I mean, because it wasn't like a home show for NXT, they weren't able to do like a traditional layout for the show. So it was just really focusing on the matches, which I thought the matches were great. But speaking of another great match, let's talk about the New York City street fight between Ethan Page and Javon Evans. Now, this also was an absolutely insane match. I mean, anytime there is a street fight or a no DQ type of match, you already know it's going to be bonkers, but this was amazing in every way possible. Not just because weapons were used, but the use of the weapons and truly the athletic ability between Javon and Ethan was insane. So like I just said, like these two are so good in the ring. And honestly, I've been loving this storyline between Javon and Ethan. And I don't think it's anywhere near done. So I'm very excited to see where we continue on with this storyline. And like I mentioned before as well, like I thought they did a great job of utilizing all the weapons in this street fight. Sometimes, actually most times, which is so unfortunate, I feel like when wrestlers have, like I said, no DQ matches or TLC matches, which we haven't had in so long. Oh my God, I just remember that. Do you guys remember TLC? Oh my God, I forgot. I just remembered about TLC, that PLE from like a long time ago. Oh my God, they should bring back TLC. Let's start a petition, guys. And if you don't know what TLC is, I'm so sorry for you. Anyways, TLC was like my childhood. Anyways, or even like, what did I just say? Or a street fight. A lot of times wrestlers, I feel, in my opinion, don't do a proper job of utilizing the weapons that are given. They might use a chair or a kendo stick and then call it a day, you know? But I thought Javon and Ethan did a great job with creatively using these weapons to make the match worth it and fun. Because if not, then it's not a street fight, you know? I think it was Javon did a really cool situation. He did a cool spot with these chairs. And he kind of piled them up in a cool way and then like smashed Ethan's head through them. I don't know. It was really cool. Stuff like that. As long as you can be creative with the weapons you are given, then I'm satisfied. Don't just hit them with a kendo stick and call it a day. You know what I mean? It's boring. So both men were going to just absolute sick extents to take each other out and do the most damage, truly. But in the end, Javon Evans was the man with his hand held high or raised high, however you want to say it. And low-key, I wasn't sure who was going to win this match, to be honest. I mean, both Ethan and Javon, in my opinion, had a really good shot at winning this match. I mean, it really could have gone either way. But I'm really happy that Javon got the upper hand and he won this match. Oh, also, before I continue with this match, something that just came to mind that I do want to say. We also got another match announcement for next week. Ricky Saints will be having a second match in NXT next week against Ridge Holland. Both of them had a little encounter, and so that eventually led to a match, obviously. Or actually, no, they didn't have an encounter. It was Ethan and Ricky. And then Ricky went to Ava. It was like, give me a match, whatever. And that's kind of what happened. But let's continue on with this match because the fun ain't over, even though the match ended. So, lo and behold, when in doubt, you know who shows up? The mystery faction, or what they call it, the mysterious group. I like saying mystery faction. So they came out to attack Javon Evans, and oh my God, guys, I can't even express to you my deep love for this group, and like, they've only been a thing for a month. I'm obsessed with their entrance. I actually have to rewatch it after I film this episode because it is so iconic. It's giving Shield, it's giving Retribution, it is giving everything right in America. I'm just obsessed. So for those who haven't seen it yet, basically the lights will go off, right? And then 4 little spotlights will hit the crowd wherever they're standing in the crowd, the 4 guys. And then the lights start flickering. This like ominous music starts playing, but like it low-key got like a little bop to it, like a little bass, you know what I mean? It's like a little groovy, but like not really. It's kind of sounding like I'm gonna kill you, but like in a fun way, which there's no fun way to kill someone, but you know what I mean. And so the lights are flickering. It's like this whole thing as they're coming down to the ring, and then, you know, they're in the ring and then they're beating up whoever's in the ring. And so in this case, it was Javon. And, you know, over the course of a couple weeks, kind of like a month at this point, we've seen this mystery faction attack multiple members from the NXT roster or be present during matches, which is what we saw last week, I believe. They were present during 2 matches but did nothing, which I was like, what the hell are you doing here? So I'm trying to figure out what message are they trying to send, because not only are they attacking, you know, people in the tag team division, but they're also, you know, attacking people in the singles division. And then they were present during a women's match last week. I believe it was Chelsea Green and Piper Niven versus Silruka and Zarya. And I just thought that was so strange and creepy and stalkish. I didn't like it. So I just want to figure out what their message is. And also, when will we find out their plan? When will we find out their official branding, in the sense of like, what's their faction name? What are their names? What is their plan? Like, what's the vibe, really? You know what I mean? Because we don't know much, truly. And so whatever happens, I'm here for it. I don't know if we're going to find out anything before or at Stand and Deliver in regards to this mystery faction. So I guess only time will tell. But let's head into the main event, which was a champion versus champion title for title match. We had the NXT Women's Champion, Julia, versus the NXT Women's North American Champion, Stephanie Vaquer. And oh my God, this was an instant classic match. This was one of the best in NXT history, and this was history itself. Whoever walked out of this match was going to be holding 2 belts. I don't know if they're unifying them, or I could have sworn Ava said she was unifying them, but I'm not sure yet, which, first of all, then that means the North American Championship was pointless. But whatever, I digress. And so we all know that the best NXT match in women's history and just in history in general is Sasha Banks versus Bayley for the NXT Women's Championship back in, was that NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, or was that just regular at the PC? Or not the PC, Full Sail. I don't remember. It was so long ago. But that match is truly like the best in NXT history. And I feel like in the women's regard, this is like a really close second. I thought this was so freaking good. I mean, we had 2 best friends going to war for gold. I mean, the story was so rich, not only leading up to the match, but you could see it bleeding through the match as well. And I just felt like the match itself really lived up to it all. And both women, not only in general, but in this match especially, bring such a unique moveset that mesh so well together to put on what was an unforgettable match, truly. And, you know, I really wasn't sure who was going to end up taking the gold in the end. I wanted Stephanie Vaquer to win, but it could have easily been Julia. And so both of these women are tied at the top of the NXT Women's Division, and we needed to find out who truly was at the top. And you know what? In the end, my queen, Stephanie Vaquer, won. So now she's Stephanie 2 belts, and I could not be more happy for her. She deserves this more than anybody. Sorry, Julia. But speaking of Julia, what's next for Julia? I mean, does she get called up? I mean, how do you go to the absolute top? You come to NXT, get a rocket strapped on your back, fly to the top to the moon, and now you're just gonna trickle your way down. That doesn't make sense to me. And the only logical explanation in my head would be to call her up. I think she's ready. I mean, I think Stephanie's ready too, but I think they want Stephanie to have this 2-belt moment, whatever. So I could definitely see Julia getting called up. Will it be soon? Will it be before Stand and Deliver, after Stand and Deliver? I'm not really sure. Again, only time will tell. I would be really sad if they just kept her in NXT for the hell of it, because again, she is ready in my opinion. And so I would love to see her go up, but of course, their call. Let's head into my overall thoughts. I just thought it was a fantastic show with banger after banger matches. Okay, this was just, I mean, there was not one thing bad about this show. My match of the night was none other than the women's main event. Triple H, take notes. You see how Shawn Michaels books the women? Main event, thank you. How hard is it? Anyways, Stephanie Vaquer versus Julia. I mean, those women work absolute magic in that ring, and last night we witnessed absolute history in the making. Overall, I'd rate the show a 9.5 out of 10. I honestly think, and I'm being so dead serious, the only thing that would have made this a 10 out of 10 for me is if Roxanne was not on the card. I'm being dead serious. If Jordan Grace was wrestling somebody else, 10 out of 10 easily. But of course, Roxanne was there, so gotta deduct some points for that. But regardless, super stoked to continue this road to Stand and Deliver. It's been a great one so far, and we still got a month to go, so I know it's going to be even better. But thank you guys so much for watching and listening to this episode of Champion the Passion. Don't forget to leave a 5-star review if you enjoyed. Follow me at It's Victoria Daisy across all social platforms, and follow Champion the Passion across those streaming platforms. Don't forget to champion your passions and celebrate the joy in what you love, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye!